Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing at the edge of the sea. Behind you is dry land, before you, an endless blue horizon. Long ago, beyond the mountains visible in the distance, there was a civilization unlike any other, a land of advanced cities, of marble structures ringed with water and stone, of rich metals, horses, and heroes, and in a single day and night, it vanished beneath the waves. This is the story of Atlantis, first told by the ancient philosopher Plato over 2,300 years ago. For centuries, people have wondered, was Atlantis a real place, or just a powerful lesson cloaked in myth? Today, we step into the latest theories that place Atlantis in new, unexpected locations and bring us closer to answers. Plato's description, a utopia lost. Let's start with the source of the story, Plato's dialogues Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar, was an incredibly advanced civilization filled with heroes, temples, rich metals like gold and orichalcum, had a beautiful layout, ringed islands with waterways and concentric walls. Sunk in a cataclysm, a single day and night swallowed it into the sea. Was this a warning? A parable? Or a window into an ancient world that truly vanished? Minoans and Santorini, a real echo? One of the strongest theories ties Atlantis to the Minoan civilization, centered on Crete and destroyed by the eruption of Thera, Santorini, around 1600 BCE. The Minoans had advanced palaces, plumbing, art, and trade. The volcanic eruption sent tsunamis and ash clouds across the region, similar to Plato's description of sudden destruction. Santorini's ring-shaped caldera even mirrors the concentric ring layout. Plato described, though not a perfect fit, this theory links a real historical event to the myth. Modern geological evidence, Mediterranean land lost. Beneath, some researchers suggest Atlantis wasn't a single city, but a network of lost civilizations across the Mediterranean basin, submerged over time by tectonic shifts and rising seas. Underwater surveys and satellite imagery have revealed submerged building-like formations, linear patterns resembling roads or walls beneath the sea. Dr. Marco Corsetti argues these findings align with oral histories and myths from Egyptian and Minoan sources about a connected maritime culture that disappeared, Richat structure, the Eye of the Sahara. Now let's shift our gaze away from the sea and into Mauritania. There lies a circular land formation visible from space, the Richat structure, or Eye of the Sahara. It has concentric rings like Plato's Atlantis. It matches the scale. Plato's description cites a central island about 23 kilometers wide. Richat matches this size. Yet, critical issues remain. Richat is a geological formation, not a city. It lies on land, not under the sea. Still, some believe the myth may have cosmic or symbolic origins rooted in local geomyths. Spartelbank, submerged island, near Gibraltar. Next, consider the Spartelbank, a sunken landmass near the Strait of Gibraltar, the Pillars of Hercules, a key reference in Plato's text. Once above water around 12,000 years ago before post-glacial sea rise submerged it, its proximity to Plato's gateway suggests it could be a candidate. Yet skeptics note, the timing doesn't match Plato's Bronze Age setting, and evidence of civilization there is lacking. Sardinia and the Sea Peoples. Let's fly west to the Mediterranean islands. Sardinia, home of the Nuragic civilization, was marvelously skilled in metalwork, tower building, art, and sea travel. They might even be linked to the mysterious Sea Peoples who attacked ancient Egypt. Some speculate their advanced Bronze Age culture matches Atlantean features. They possessed bull symbolism. Plato mentions bulls, but once again, no evidence of catastrophic destruction, and their myth doesn't align with Plato's story. New discoveries in the Canary Islands. Recent underwater findings add new intrigue. Off the coast of Lanzarote in the Canary Islands lies a group of sunken islands resting atop the volcanic Mount Los Atlantes. Similarly, formations such as the Yonaguni Monument in Japan, stepped stone structures underwater, are called real-life Atlantis by some, though widely debated by scientists. These discoveries fuel speculation, but no firm link to Plato has been proven. Atlantis in memory, Hellike, sunken cities of Greece. Sometimes, the echoes of Atlantis are found closer to home. Helike, a Greek city lost to the sea in 373 BCE, was rediscovered through archaeology and geology in 2001. Submerged by earthquake and tsunami, Hellike shows that real cities do vanish, and legends can echo those real events. As we look into these mysterious ruins, we remember, Atlantis might not be a real island, but a pattern, a story of loss, caution, and the ever-present danger of natural disasters. A hidden city beneath the mud. In recent years, one of the more promising candidates for Atlantis has emerged from the eastern Mediterranean, not far from the island of Cyprus. In 2004, explorer and researcher Robert Sarmast led a sonar expedition to the Cyprus basin. What he claimed to find stunned many. Beneath the seafloor, under layers of sediment and mud, were what appeared to be large rectangular structures, perfectly straight walls, geometric patterns that seemed man-made. Sarmast believed this was evidence of a sunken city buried after a flood event over 10,000 years ago. According to his theory, Atlantis wasn't a volcanic island, but part of a landmass now lost beneath the eastern Mediterranean. And Plato's description was inspired by a memory of this once glorious civilization. However, critics caution that sonar imaging can be deceiving. Natural formations often resemble artificial ones, and the dating of these structures is still unconfirmed. Still, the Cyprus theory remains one of the few cases where technology hints at something extraordinary hidden beneath. The Black Sea Deluge, Atlantis through flood memory. Let's head northeast, into the Black Sea. In 1999, scientists studying sediment layers in the region made a stunning discovery, evidence of a massive flood around 7,600 years ago. This flood theory, known as the Black Sea Deluge hypothesis, suggests the Mediterranean Sea breached into the freshwater Black Sea, raising sea levels by hundreds of feet in a very short time, flooding hundreds of thousands of acres of fertile land where ancient people once lived. This event may have inspired flood legends like Noah's Ark, the Epic of Gilgamesh, and potentially Atlantis. Some believe Atlantis wasn't one city, but rather a collective memory of ancient settlements lost to sudden natural disasters. These civilizations were advanced for their time, and their destruction echoed down through generations as myth. Submerged Portugal, a kingdom beneath the Atlantic. Off the coast of Portugal, sonar mapping and archaeological interest have recently picked up. An area known as Doggerland, an ancient land bridge that once connected Britain to mainland Europe, has already yielded flint tools, fossilized bones, traces of human habitation dating back over 8,000 years. Some researchers propose that portions of the Iberian coast may hide Atlantis-like ruins and that rising sea levels gradually consumed them. Though not yet linked directly to Atlantis, these submerged areas show us that entire regions once above water are now lost beneath the sea. Could Atlantis have been one of them? A city of the mind or a map of the past? As we travel further into the unknown, one truth becomes clear. Atlantis may not be a single place at all. Rather than a city to find, Atlantis may be a metaphor for human pride and downfall, a memory passed down and reshaped by storytellers, a composite of many real disasters, natural or man-made. Even Plato himself admitted he wasn't the original source. He said the story came from Egyptian priests who told it to Solon, who then passed it down through the generations. This means Plato may have embellished the story. He may have created Atlantis to illustrate philosophical ideas, or he might have passed on an ancient echo of truth that we no longer fully understand. What modern science says today, most scholars agree on this. There is no direct archaeological evidence confirming the existence of Atlantis, as Plato described it, but there is plenty of evidence that ancient civilizations existed, rose to power, and were destroyed by earthquakes, floods, or wars, and thanks to satellite imaging, deep-sea sonar, and even ancient DNA studies, we are uncovering more and more about our forgotten past. While Atlantis itself remains lost, the spirit of Atlantis lives on in every lost city we rediscover. Whether it's the sunken streets of Pavlopatri in Greece, the buried ruins of Halaik, or the submerged forests beneath the North Sea, Atlantis in pop culture, fuel for the imagination. Atlantis didn't vanish from history. It thrived in our imagination. From Jules Verne to Indiana Jones, from comic books to Disney, Atlantis is everywhere. Why? Because it taps into something powerful, the hope that there was once a golden age of humanity, the mystery of a world just out of reach, the warning that great civilizations can disappear without a trace. And as we invent new theories, build new machines, and peer further into the ocean's depths, the dream of finding Atlantis lives on. And so, dear traveler, what do you believe? Was Atlantis ever real? Was it a grand city that sank beneath the waves? Or just a clever story that continues to teach us about pride, power, and the fragile nature of civilization? Perhaps, as with all great mysteries, the truth lies somewhere in between, half buried in the sand, half floating in the myths of men. And maybe, just maybe, we're not meant to find Atlantis. Maybe we're meant to search for it. If you found yourself lost in this journey, wandering the rings of Atlantis, diving deep into flood myths and forgotten lands, then don't forget to subscribe to Shadows Untouched. We bring the strange, the lost, and the forgotten back into the light, slowly, carefully, one mysterious story at a time. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment. What do you think really happened to Atlantis? And never stop questioning the shadows.